floating within the man who knows my name, who gives me love, who houses my soul with his soul. They will ask me who I am. I am unleashed. So, lots been going on. This is going to be a little bit of a learner, a little bit of an update. And I have a special surprise. That's really why we're here, for the surprise. But the update first, right? So, those of y'all who watched my last video know that my phrase for the year, and low-key my prayer for the year, is God get involved. And I think it's going to be, I pray, this is what my hope is. Like, as the quarters go by, I can change that verb. So, right now it's a petition, God get involved. I would like to see it change to God gets involved, where I'm seeing the Lord move, you know? And then I would hope by the end of the year I can give y'all a reflection on how God got involved. But nonetheless, that right there has been a challenge for me, because God being the one who is getting involved, it gives off he's the one who's making the moves. He's the one that's making plays. He's the one that is acting. That means that I am not. I am trying to actively sit and wait and listen and be still. And that's something I feel like I ain't never done ever in my life. I'm going to tell y'all about my hair horror story later. But just to give y'all an idea of how impatient I be, I would pray about something, but then I would just kind of do what I want to do. If I feel like the answer hasn't come by the time I'm ready to make a play, then I'm gonna make the play. It always ends badly. It always ends badly. Well, I'm gonna just give y'all a little snippet, because my hair story is supposed to be its own video. But I put a texturizer in my hair in 2021 because I got a blowout in 2020 that my hair did not revert from. Like, I had got my natural how I wanted it. It was trained, it was laid. I knew my hair loved me, I love my hair. But no, after the blowout that I got for my birthday in 2021, this was 2021, my hair did not go back to how it was before. It just wasn't acting right. And so I got blowed. I was tired of it. And I started talking like I wanted to put a texturizer in my hair. Like, maybe something that will help me comb it will help me to tame it again. And my shooter told me, you need to pray about that. I don't know what y'all believe, but I definitely believe that hair growth is a spiritual thing. So she was like, you need to pray about that. And I'm like, I know, I will. And I did. But did I wait on the answer? No, I did not. So I put the texturizer in my hair by October. So I went February to October playing with it, but didn't get no answer. I've heard many a preacher say, if the Lord didn't say nothing, that don't mean just do what you want to do. But anyways, I did what I wanted to do. Put a texturizer in my hair. It did thin it, like make it more manageable, but it did not help with laying down my little stray spriggly hairs. It was no more tamed than it was before I put a texturizer in, and then it started to thin out. Then it started to break off, and I ended up having like just a super thin space back here in like the weaker part of my head. And I lost all the length that I had, and thickness was gone. And then it was processed. I didn't even want to know more anyway. So, long story short, I'm trying to tell y'all that I have an impatience issue. And I realized yesterday, because I've been struggling trying to tell people how I feel. Like, people will ask me, how you doing? I'm like, I don't know. People that I trust, I really be like, I don't know. And I've been like sick. I was sick over the New Year's or Christmas, sick over Thanksgiving, and just like not eating, like just feeling icky. So that also was a thing with my mood and things. And then when I'm like laying there and time is just passing, I have had an unhealthy relationship with time. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But yesterday after a great therapy session and journaling prayer session, I just was reminded that one time is not the enemy, that God is the author of time, that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and that when a person is born, that whole first year of life is about discovery. And I mentioned before in a season about self-discovery that it was something that I want to pursue. Like, I want to get to know myself over again. But this is like real life. Post the trauma, post the abuse, post the assaults, post all the stuff that I have survived, and being on the other side of that and seeing the scars heal and feeling ecstatic about living. I am a different person. I am a new person. And it's interesting to like watch my nephew. Me and my sister and I was just talking about it, like how every month he gives us something else. Like this month he started like grabbing and holding his feet, and he ate bananas for the first time. He turned 5 months on the 17th, so he ate bananas for the first time. Mind you, he has been like saying that he not going for it, pushing people's hands away. You try to feed him food, he ain't going for it. He don't want it. He don't like it. But all of a sudden, he like bananas. All of a sudden, he's grabbing and holding on to his feet. He will be on his stomach and turn over onto his back. Just new things that at 5 months he's able to do, but he hasn't been able to do before, or he hasn't wanted to do before. And I feel like I'm just like living my life on a parallel with him as he grows and develops. He's giving me an example of what it looks like to just kind of go. Just do it at your own pace. Do it as you're able to do it, you know? That has given me some peace. It's helped me to exhale. As has my scripture for the year, that God makes all things beautiful in its time. It's time for me to just kind of be present. And so, kind of like, it's a segue to the surprise, but in me trying to be present, I have had some struggles with my writing. I have been writing about my life, my story, but my life and my story, the things that I've been surviving, have had a certain feel to them. It was much easier for me to write about my trauma than it has been just write about nothing or about everything. I don't know. Like, lately, it has been difficult for me to pick up my pen to write a flowing thought, like something that goes together. Everything that I was doing was just choppy everywhere. It just didn't feel complete. It didn't feel like it had a core. Like I said, as of yesterday, I feel better. As of yesterday. As of this morning, I have a complete thought, one journal entry that makes sense. But my point is, with my poetry, I have not just written to write. And I don't want my relationship with my pen to be about getting through stuff only. And it is more to me than that. I just had not found that connection yet. And so that brings me to the surprise. My shooter, who is a novelist, and she writes as James P. You can find all of her work in the description box below. If you don't know what a shooter is or who my shooter is, you need to get acquainted, friend. Our page is linked somewhere on my page. I don't know all the YouTube jargon yet for like how you promote somebody else's page on yours. I don't know, but I know it's linked to mine. So you can get acquainted with the shooters. You can get to know the shooters at the link down there. So look down there. But to give you a short background, me and my shooter, we met at Clark, Atlanta, 2014. We became inseparable. We are best friends, but better. And I think our relationship is as special as it is because we have been fortunate enough to grow together. When the Lord brought us together, we were at one season, but over many years now, almost 10 years worth of friendship, we have been able to kind of push and pull and be the iron that sharpens the iron. And neither of us had abandoned each other. That's my family. So I celebrate her and her going after her dream. She writes romance novels. I write poetry. Her first book came out 2022. It's called A Love That Saves. And her fourth book came out on January the 5th, and it is called Loving a Legend. Loving a Legend is about the heroine. Her name is Chrissy Savage, who has been in an abusive relationship with a narcissist for 6 years. Sound familiar? So there are some parallels between my life and Chrissy's story, but nonetheless, Chrissy is now freshly out of this, or she's out of this relationship. She's put it behind her. She's been in therapy. She's been doing all the work to try to like get her footing. And after her final straw, she's done with homeboy, and she's moving on with her life. And I said it like that because it's not that she was trying to move into a new relationship. She was just moving forward. She was doing it for Chrissy. But when she is done with this dude, she can't help but think about this one guy who is the twin brother to her cousin's husband. And they have their own story too. But she thinks about this guy. His name is Aaron Legend. And the chemistry, the vibe that they had whenever they met 3 years ago. She was so consumed with homeboy that she couldn't give Aaron the time of day. Aaron knew it, and Aaron knew who Aaron was, so Aaron wasn't about to be playing no games with Chrissy. They did not come together in the season that they probably could have because of what each one of them had going on. So now it's 3 years later, she freshly single, and the first person that pop up in her brain is Aaron Legend. And Aaron Legend, he's just very much him. I mean, I don't want to give y'all too much about the book because you need to read the book. That is the point of the video. You got to pick the book up. But where this kind of ties into where I was going from the first part of this video is that my shooter asked me to write some poems for Chrissy's character. And like me, Chrissy processes and heals through poetry. So I was challenged to write something that wasn't necessarily about my life, but was about a healing process, a grieving process for time spent, time lost. And then the second poem was about what happened when Chrissy allowed herself to love again. So the book goes from Chrissy being in this really reflective state and almost like she taking baby steps too. Like she's trying to re-engage with the people in her life and not necessarily convince them that she's done with her old thing, but also kind of like she trying to convince them that she done with her old thing. Like not even just that, but the ways that were cultivated whenever she was with this dude. So it's different. And she's also thinking about what she feels that she has done to herself. And as she is processing, this is just kind of how she feels. Like, I can't believe that I was in this. I can't believe that I missed it. I can't believe that the veil was over my eyes for so long. And the book transitions over her and Aaron's story, like as it continues to evolve. And then they actually get involved. God gets involved with them getting involved. But as they get involved, the story shifts. And it kind of goes a little bit like this. This is low-key. It could be low-key like a giveaway. But y'all ain't getting all the tea. It's just I just hope, just listen and then go by the book. I know his mouth. How his lips hold my name. How his teeth hold his happy when he glances in my direction. How his voice glides through space to rest on my ears and to alert my body to respond to his call. I know his skin. How it runs smoothly over his bones like hot honey and caramel. How when I reach to touch, it swallows my fingertips. They blend with his forearms and my legs with his hips and my cheek with his chest. It covers and consumes me until we are smooth, until we are merged, until we are together, until we are bound, until we are one. I know his fears, how they sit in the hollow of his heart, in the place where there are shadows and bones and memories and pain, the place he tries to keep secret, the place he hasn't quite let the light touch, the place he hasn't learned how to let the light touch. And I know his eyes, how like glass they see through my armor. They won't let me hide, they won't let me lie. How like two portals they draw me into his soul, where his purity and intensity engulf me, where I swim in the magic that is his essence, where I am sucked under by the high tide of his love, and I live within him, bare, bruised, burned, but open and healing and loving with all that I am and all I ever could be. I am floating within the man who knows my name, who gives me love, who houses my soul with his soul. I ain't gonna lie. Reading it back, I'm critiquing it, so it's some things that I probably would say differently, do different, but the vibe is giving, and I'm just proud. I'm proud of myself, but I am proud. Let me say first, I'm proud of my shooter, because this is probably, and I say this even with, like, I feel like I'm cheating on a legendary love, because when my shooter introduced me to her writing, she let me read about Demi and Asen, who is the cousin and twin brother to Chrissy and Aaron. And I was so amazed by what she created, and when she put them into a book, I was so proud, and they have stood as my favorite characters. But I can't help but feel like this Loving a Legend has taken the cake. It is like a beautiful read. You laugh, you cry, but every book that my shooter write is like that. You laugh, you cry, you feel that black love is getting back its breath, and that's how I describe my shooter's writing. She is that. She is painting the picture of romance and family and electric, intense connection. And I'm proud, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for being able to dissociate from what has been and to envision just for a moment what could be. To allow myself back into creativity in a way that I was able to produce this based off of the bond that these two characters have, but also even to weave in a different hope, like something I haven't been able to connect to for so long, a hope for romance. And it don't have to be, of course it's not going to be fictional, it's not going to be picture perfect, everybody knows that, but in this space, in a creative space, it can be exactly what I want it to be. And I think for the time that I wrote it, it was exactly what I wanted it to be. And my shooter said it was exactly what she needed. So I'm proud of that. And I want to say right here how grateful I am to have a person in my life who calls on me, who leans on me to add to the greatness that she is, and who allowed me to, or challenged me to pour in a different way to help me become reacquainted with my gift. And that is my shooter. And I love you, Shoo. Yeah, we don't never say I love you, so she probably just cringed when she watched this, but whatever. Just want to say thank you. And yeah, I'm only gonna touch a little bit on dating again, because this part of life for me is not necessarily about dating. The way my therapist just put it, and she helped me so much with processing for right now, is that when we are in a observation phase, we don't have all the answers. We are collecting data. I was able to exhale because, like, I feel like I'm supposed to have the answers. That has been my thing. I always move like that. When people ask me questions, even like sitting on panels, I like getting asked questions because I have an answer. I'm somebody who has a thought about everything, especially in the realm of like mental health and relationships, etc. So to feel like I don't have anything to pull from right now has been very intimidating. But again, like I said before, we have been, me, God, my therapist, we have been working with, moldable clay and being a healed version of self and having new thoughts and all the things. So when I think about dating, like, it's definitely something that I would want to do eventually. But my thoughts even about dating are different. But I can say that I would want to love a legend. And I don't just mean, I'm not necessarily talking about no character in a book. But I respect my Shootas writing so much that I can say with certainty she pulls character traits that any woman would want a man to embody. When my therapist asked me what kind of man I would be looking for whenever I do decide to date again, I immediately was thinking about I thought about my daddy, character traits that my daddy has, and I thought about Aaron Legend. And a lot of their character traits are the same. I want a man that never leaves me to guess. I want a man that is so honest that he look weird if he try to lie. I want a man that sees me, that grieves whenever I hurt. I want a man that keeps me safe. I want a man that lights a fire in me. But I want a man that also settles me. I want a man that is not afraid to let me see him. I want a man who knows my name, who gives me love, who houses my soul with his soul. And this definitely could go a little further, but I'm gonna end it right there, cause it's really not about my new thoughts, my developing thoughts about dating. It's about you going and getting that book, baby. This is the first Shootas collab. You need to be locked in. You need to be plugged in. So if you're like me and you are in a data collection season, give yourself grace. Sit still. Maybe you can even write to God. I've been trying to write out a prayer that I can repeat and like say every day, and give myself like a block of time every day to sit after I have said that prayer, to sit in silence. And everything else I do. Whatever video I put out. Whatever pictures I post. Whatever poems I share. But I'm trying to be intentional about sitting, waiting, and listening. And regardless of what the climate of the time suggests about losing time, I hope that y'all feel affirmed in that God is the author of time, like I do right now in this moment. Anything that we lost will be added back to us, and that he makes all things beautiful in his time. So with that being said, love y'all. Books linked below. My Shootas books, my books, the book that just dropped that she allowed me to share in with her. So love you, and I'll see y'all next time.